guys, hey, good morning everyone. So I guess there was it, my challenge with cooking breakfast and all kind of just went because it's 7:52 and I've been working since 6:30 or so and my children are still sleeping, so I already made my beautiful coffee. Cheers to everyone. Cheers for a great rainy, or hopefully not so rainy, Cinco de Mayo. Just wanted to walk you through part of my daily routine. So obviously when I don't do the video, I do a lot of other things from a perspective of real estate, but now that I'm here live with you, I just wanted to walk you through the numbers as we go through them. So I am looking at February compared to March of 2020 numbers. So I'm going to wait for some more people to join. Hopefully you guys are not at work or you're driving. Yes, I do have a hat in case you guys are wondering why. It's because I have not washed my hair and I have not put a comb in my hair in quite a while, and I also went for a short walk and it was raining, so I'm a little wet. So I do have the hat on, but I wanted to start this morning fresh with my coffee and share with you some stats. I'm going to start reading what I have here from the Wake County Register of Deeds straight, and it seems like the real estate sales are starting to decrease. Obviously, lending is still on the increase. There's a lot of people that are still refinancing their homes. So real estate sales generally are definitely decreasing. April's real estate activity is down both in numbers and value of transactions. Real estate activity is decreasing as we see it for Wake County. Obviously, people are still busy and agents are still working, being a essential business. But there's a lot of transactions that most of them have based on the previous months before COVID started hurting all of us. So, but overall, real estate is definitely decreasing. People are losing their jobs, and there's something obvious happening that we all feel it. The dollar value of Wake County real estate changing hands was down 27% compared to March 2020 and down 26% compared to April 2019. I'm going to go slowly through these numbers because you need to digest them. So again, the dollar value of Wake County real estate changing hands was down 27% compared to March of this year and 26% compared to last year, right? So 27% from March 2020 to April is a pretty significant decrease in dollar amount. The dollar value of Wake County real estate changing hands was down 20%. Okay, so yes. So now I'm going to give you a little comparable from March to from March of this year to from February of this year to March of this year. So I'm going to go through all of the stats from Durham, Johnston, Orange County, and Wake County. So just so you can see what I'm looking at, I wrote down all these stats for you. So I'm gonna go through them very slowly so you can watch this again. But I am looking at the stats and it's very, very interesting to see. So from February of this year to March of this year, for all of these counties, the median sales price actually went up 6%. Interesting, right? The price is not decreasing. So the median sales price increased by 6%. Days on the market were down 8%. So from February to March, the days on the market, so a house was on the market 8% less time than in February, which is usually fairly typical for a spring market. Inventory was up 12%. Closed sales were up 6%. Under contract sales went down 0.3%. So not 3%, but 0.3%. New listings were up by 3%. Yay! New listings in March. And I just wanted to walk you through comparison March 19, so 2019 to March 2020. Showings were down 22%. This is the biggest number so far here, right? So, which is very normal. And inventory from last year to this year, inventory was down 5%, and listings were down 2%. So if we're comparing last year's spring's market to this year's spring market, listings were down 2%, and obviously showings were down 22%. Pending sales went down 9%. Closed sales were up by 12%. And overall average sales price, as I said, went up 6%. So as you can see, the pricing in this area is definitely not decreasing. We do have showings down 22% compared to last year. And listings were down now since last year, which is kind of normal. A lot of people have changed their minds, right? And I know of a lot of cases of people that were considering listing their homes and put everything on hold. So there's a lot of uncertainty for sure. But the fact that the pricing is not going down is amazing. And again, lending is still very busy. Lenders are doing a lot of refinances, so we barely have time to talk to them. So where before they were answering our calls fairly easily, right now it takes a little bit of time, and the market is still very hot. In that 200 and 350, even 400,000 price point, we still do see multiple offers. We've recently put two listing of ours and a buyer under contract with multiple offers, and we had to fight. And when I say fight, I don't just mean we had to offer $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 right above. Obviously I can't share that with you, but I will be able to share with you after next month or after this month, after we close, how high were we in need to come up with an offer just to get the contract. So the market is definitely, and that's not for just one property again. And we've had listings that have received several offers, and it's still a battle in between that 200 to 350, even 400,000 price point. In certain areas, again, it's really depending on neighborhood, but in certain areas, I definitely see even in that 440 to 450, especially for the Wake County area that we are focusing on. Very, very competitive market. But yes, as I said, a lot of sellers have just stopped their showings because it's very hard for everyone to go somewhere, especially if it's raining outside. Where do you go when you have so many showings? There's really nowhere for you to go, so people have just stopped their showings. I'm going to repeat these for all of you guys that have just joined me. So, and I'll go through the numbers real quick. So from February to March of this year, in Durham, Johnston, Orange, and Wake County, the median sales were up by 6%. Days on the market were down 8%. Inventory up 12%. Closed sales were up 6%. Under contract sales went down to 0.3%. New listings were up 3%. And from March of last year to March of 2020, showings went down 22%, inventory went down 5%, and listings went down 2%. Pending sales went down 9%, closed sales were up 12%, and overall average sales were up 6%. So if you guys want, what I can do is I'm going to actually put all of these numbers in comments because I know that, you know, it's very hard for all of you to remember all of this. But obviously, you know, the median sales up again 6%, so we're at somewhere around $319,000 or so for median sales price, where I think it was like in, you know, low 300s, 310 for I think the last quarter of last year. So obviously the pricing is not going down in this area, but you know, as I said, there are still sales happening based on the activity previously reported before COVID started happening, and it's good for March that the days on the market went down 8%, but inventory was down 5%, which is not something that our market necessarily needs, right? There's never been inventory in this market. So when you look at these numbers, you're also looking at some newer construction as well. So just think about that, right? So when you think about inventory, especially for Wake County, there's not a lot, and I like doing this exercise. I always do this. I always compare every month, and so if I just look at active homes right now, I'm just gonna go for Wake County, so I'm going to give you the general number. So let's say if any of you have any questions and would actually like to know stats, specific stats, just put them in the comments so I can look them up for you right now. But if I'm looking, what we see a lot is that a lot of people want newer homes, where Wake County, obviously there's a lot of new construction, but if you want, let's say, a newer house that was built, let's just say 2000, right? Because it depends on everyone. People have moved here from different states. So when you move from New York, a house that was built in 2000 is not going to, you're not going to look at the house the same way as if you were from here, right? So when I see 2000, a lot of people say, oh, no, we want something that's newer. And so there's a lot of, what I see is that when people want newer, they want newer, but then they want a developed neighborhood, which is very, very hard to get. My house was built 1996. I am in a really, really hard location to find new construction. Oh my God, I'm sorry. English, good morning. But yes, so if you want something newer and if you want new construction, the chances are that you're not going to find a lot of developed, like established neighborhoods, right? Because obviously they are newer. Now there's a lot of new construction, green level in this area, in the West Cary area where I am, right? I am at that High House and Davis Drive intersection. I love this area because my kids can walk to school, right? My daughter walks to Davis Drive Middle School. So for us, that was a priority. But a lot of people, and that's where I started, a lot of people say, we want a newer house, we want an established neighborhood, we want great schools, and you know, a very like lower price point. It really doesn't exist. Just as you've seen here, the median price point increased, right? We're at around $319. So when people want to buy something in that, you know, $400 or $300, and they want new and they want great schools and they want an amazing home, it's almost like catching a unicorn in a forest. So I'm not saying there aren't great homes. There are some great neighborhoods in that median 400 that have amazing schools. And again, schools, if you're a parent, it's going to depend, right? Schools is a very general or not vague term, I would say, right? Because the same thing that is important for me when it comes to my children is not valid for other people. So my kids might like sports, might like languages, your kids might be into STEM, you know, science, whatever. So I think that is a very relative term, to be honest, and that's just my opinion. And I never go and advise someone to buy something because I think that school is great. I've always kind of stayed back. So let's look at the numbers, and again, I will be putting all of the stats that I've shared with you about inventory, closed sales, under contract, new listing, and all of that in my comments. But if I look at Wake County, and I just say minimum year built 2000, so I'm not going to look at any home that is older than 2000. Most of them have 3 bedrooms. I'm just gonna put 3 bedrooms just in case. So Wake County, and if you guys have any preference, again, please let me know. So I'm going to look at active and coming soon. So again, just as a reminder, when you look online and you see coming soon, that means that the house is not on the market yet, and it's going to be listed at some point, but it's not active, so nobody can actually show it, nobody can see. So active homes and coming soon homes in Wake County, 3 bedrooms, minimum year built 2000, and let's just put a maximum price point of $319,000, or you know what, let's just go to $325,000 because that was kind of the medium price point right now for all of the counties that we were mentioning. So for Wake County, 3 bedrooms, 2000. The first search that I'm getting is 586 homes that are currently active and coming soon. If I remove the coming soon, I'm getting 557. So I'm going to leave the coming soon there, okay? Because I want to look. But what I didn't mention is that I was also looking at townhomes. So if you are not interested in townhomes and you're only interested in detached homes, so not attached, the number went down to 338 homes throughout the whole Wake County, so up to 325,000. So if you are looking at, so 338, right? So the difference would be townhomes. So again, just to make sure, I'm checking attached homes, 235 homes. So if you don't want a townhome, because some townhomes may have very, very high HOA fees, okay, I need to take this out, then you don't have a lot of homes to choose from. And so let me play this game with you, because when I get calls and I have, people ask, we don't want to pay more than $325 or $350. That's our max. And I go, okay, so what's your criteria? So I just do a quick search and I go, okay, detached homes, you don't want townhome, fine. Wake County, fine. Newer home, most of them say, well, we don't want anything that's older than 10 years, again 2000, because we're dealing with roof, we're dealing with siding, we're dealing with HVAC, we're dealing with water heater, we're dealing with all these issues, windows, so we don't want to spend so much money, so we want something newer. But then they say, we want some land. So when I ask them, what do you mean by you want land? They say, well, we want land, well, at least a good 0.25 or something. We don't want to see the neighbors. So I go, okay, so you want some land. So here I go and I start checking for land. And so if I add here, or a garage, so if I put land and I just put 0.15, remember we were at 338. I'm going to write this number down. So 338 for 3 bedrooms, minimum year build 2000, only detached homes. I'm not looking at townhomes. So 0.15 acres. I'm not gonna go for more. Just this is an exercise, so I'm doing this live with you. 0.15 acres, where before I didn't have any other criteria. So if I'm just looking at 0.15 acres from 338, I went down to 221 at 0.15 acres, okay? And this is, again, everything. There's nothing else. And if I just add one car garage, not 2, 1. Let's just say you really love your car and you really want to park it. So from 221 we went down to 210. That's not very significant for one car garage. And then I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. If I increase the 2-car garage from 221, where I had nothing, I went down to 205. Again, not a big decrease. And now let's do something else. Let's say you want a little bit more land. So from 0.15, you say, you know, I want at least 0.25 because, again, I want a little bit of land. The number went down to 65 homes with a 2-car garage as well. So if you really want a house that has 2-car garage, 0.25 acres, that's a little bit newer, okay, then things are looking fine, fairly good. 65 homes, let the battle begin. Now let's do another exercise. I am going to remove 2,000. So the year build, minimum year build, let's say you're coming and you're saying, we want some character. We don't care about the home being newer. We just want a house. It can be a split level. It can be something older. We don't care. We want to be in a great location. So, you know, doesn't matter. So I'm going to put maximum 2,000. So I'm not going to go above 2,000 year build. And I have 27 homes. So 27 homes in the whole Wake County that are older than 2,000. Okay. And if I want to go and I put nothing at all for the year build. So it can be as old as 1970 and as new as 2019, brand new construction. Again, we're still looking at detached homes. I'm not looking at attached. I'm not looking at townhomes. Right now, with 0.25 acres, so again, you want some land and you want a 2-car garage and you're in Wake County, you want, ideally great schools. There are 91 homes for you to choose from. So with all the people that are relocating, even now with Corona, with everything that's going on, and with closed sales being up 6%, with median sales up again 6%, inventory up 12% since February, not since last year, because if we're looking at the numbers from last year, right, as I've told you, inventory was down 5%. But from February of this year, inventory is up 12%. So if we're comparing the numbers from last year, the inventory was down, but from February to March of this year, the inventory was up. And even with this type of inventory, we are looking at 91 homes in Wake County at 3 bedrooms, detached homes. I'm not talking about townhomes. So I do this exercise fairly often. We are running several ads. I know that's an FYI here that maybe shouldn't necessarily come into this, but we are testing the market heavily, and we are also providing a lot of great leads to a lot of agents in the area. So because we have specialized in testing the market, we look at the numbers very closely. So we know exactly what the market wants, right? There's a lot of new construction clients. There's a lot of people looking for first floor master homes. There's a lot of people looking for those special homes under 350,000 or under 400,000 in great areas with great schools, with a little bit of land, with 2-car garage. So there's a lot of people relocating that have specifics in mind. So because we test the market all the time, we look at the numbers all the time, right? So it's super important. And so again, the Durham, Johnston, Orange, Wake County, these were all numbers that I'm going to put once I finish the video, so you can again look at the stats and kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about and what I'm looking at, because I think generally it's we're still not at the point that a lot of people are fearing with the virus, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of things happening that nobody was expecting to happen. So just looking at the numbers monthly, and I'm going to be here monthly for you just to give you an idea of what's happening every month, you know, compared to last month is super important. But to see the median sales up by 6% and to see the median price point again, you know, up to 319,000 and days on the market down 8% was pretty good to see. We do have several listings that are active on the market, and we do have several that we got on contract, and we have a lot of new construction under contract that we will be closing soon. Thank God we're still closing the new construction that we have, but it is what it is. We are doing the best that we can, and if you guys would like to know more information and more details, I am here. But I do love doing these exercises just because it's amazing how people really sometimes they look on all of these platforms to look for homes, and while those platforms are great, the MLS is the one platform that we heavily rely on. So when we look at stats, we can see everything, you know, and we also have again a lot of new construction that we're working with, so we do have lists of inventory of new construction and permitting and what's going on with new construction that you are not going to find online. Now obviously everybody can Google Lennar and MI Homes and Madonna and, you know, look Toll Brothers, and you can see what's going on, but that's a lot of homework depending on what you're looking at. So if you want to know more about homes that are not in the MLS, feel free to contact me, because I can give you, I have really long lists of what's going on in the area, in the Greater Triangle area. So I hope this is sort of helpful for you guys, and you will understand that for us as well, not having the inventory and going through this is definitely challenging, right? So while we want to help you, you need to be able to work with someone that's very proactive and is looking daily at what's going on. This is a daily exercise for me, right? So I don't do anything else. I wake up, I study the market. It literally takes me 10 minutes because I do it daily. So I just look if anything else came up. I also look at for sale by owners. I've always done that, and I do match a lot of the people that we know. We match with for sale by owners, and we've been doing this for a long time, like for a long time. So I would take the list of everything that's on the market as a for sale by owner, and you can do that as well, right? And I just upload them in my weekly. Every Friday they're being uploaded in my file. And if let's say you're telling me I want to buy a house in Morrisville and there's nothing on the market, and you give me the criteria, I will look at for sale by owners for you as well. Because why not? As a real estate agent, you want to be proactive. You want to look for your client. You want to find them the best house. So if you're a real estate agent watching this, I highly recommend you do that. It's super cool. And I mean, obviously if someone lists their house as a for sale by owner, they're trying to save some money, and they're more open to negotiations with a real estate agent that brings the buyer to the table. So you do have that as well. That those homes are obviously not here, so that's a little niche. There's another little part of inventory that you guys as a general audience might not really think about, or you might not consider, but I would highly recommend you consider that. Now again, things have changed with the virus, because they would have to go and show you the house as a for sale by owner. So right now we have not seen so many. Actually, I have just downloaded them last week, and I think there were like 6 or something like that. I don't remember, in the areas that I was interested. There's just a very small amount of for sale by owners that were on the market, because again, as a for sale by owner, you have to go, you have to open the door every time someone wants to see the house. So you have to have that personal contact, which right now is not very advisable. So that's what's going on in Wake County. I'm going to repeat this very slowly for everyone that joined me right now. So I'm looking at the numbers between the comparison from February this year to March this year. So February to March, for Durham, Johnston, Orange, and Wake County. The median sales went up 6%. Days on the market were down 8%. Woohoo! Inventory was up 12%, which is normal. Closed sales were up 6%. Under contract sales went down by 0.3%. New listings were up by 0.3%. And if you look at the comparison from March of 2019 to March of 2020, showings went down 22% and inventory went down 5%. So this is compared to last year. And listings went down 2%. Pending sales went down 9%. And closed sales went up 12%. And overall average sales went up 6%. So yeah, it's good that the closed sales went up 12% compared to last year, and at the same time the pending ones were down 9%. But obviously showings went down 22% in prime spring market. So that's what I have for you, and I hope you enjoy the little games that I'm playing here in the MLS. And if, by the way, if someone would be interested, let's say, because I know that I've only ran the numbers up to 325, but let's start with 325, and that's going to be the last exercise. So if you're looking at 325, and let's just say you are a buyer that would like to buy something up to $500,000, so between 325 to $500,000, I'm obviously going to keep the 2-car garage, right? Because if you want a $500,000 home, you would hope you get at least a 1-car garage in Wake County. So if you are looking from 325 to 500, only detached homes in Wake County, I'm going to give you the number. The number is 398. So you remember the previous number? The previous number up to 325 was 338. Now the number between 325 and 500,000 for Wake County increased to 398 with the same criteria. So I didn't really change a lot. I still kept Wake County, 3 bedrooms. I didn't put any square footage. So, I mean, you know, let's say if you were to tell me, Yoana, I really don't want anything less than, I can say that 3,000 is kind of that magical number where people feel comfortable in that 400,000 price point. So if you want minimum 3,000 square feet, the number just went down to 160 homes. Okay, so you see this is a huge difference, right, between almost 400 homes to 160 if you want 3,000 square feet. So and 0.25 acres and 2-car garage. I will also run something else because I also like looking at that. So there's a lot of new construction, as everyone knows. And again, I'm not looking at townhomes, I'm just looking at detached homes. So if I am looking at 2015, so newer homes, 2015, with the same criteria, some land, 0.25, 325 to 500,000 detached homes, Wake County, 3 bedrooms, 2-car garage. I have 69 homes. 69 homes. That's very low, right? I mean, again, how many people are coming here? And out of the 69, I'm just going to run real quick so you can see how hard it is to find something up to $500,000 that's bigger than 3,000 square feet with a 2-car garage. So I see Tide Village, I see Willoughby, Whitecroft Manor, Oxford Hills, Ballantyne Place, Glen Creek, South Lakes. I'm just looking at the subdivisions, I'm sorry. So, you know, I do see, obviously, Fuquay, Raleigh, Apex, New Hill. But let's say if you were to say, Yoana, yes, I want to be in Wake County, but let's just say the prime locations, okay? Prime. Well, that's very relative. But Cary, Apex, Holly Springs. I'm going to also add Garner. Okay, just for the fun, so that we're here, 20 homes. So, oh, well, I didn't add Raleigh. Let's just add Raleigh, just just Raleigh is kind of big, so I kind of tend to leave Raleigh out. So from 20 homes without Raleigh, with Raleigh, I got up to 35. So 20 to 35 homes if I add Raleigh. If I don't add Raleigh, and if I just leave Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, Garner, let me just put Morrisville from 20, let's see, stayed at 20, nothing changed. So we have 20 homes. If I am looking at 2,500 square feet, not 3,000 square feet, I have 46 homes. So the inventory, I have 16 more homes, yay! 16 more homes, Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, Garner, Morrisville, Wake County. And that's if you want some land. If you don't care at all about the land. So I'm just going to take the 0.25 because that's a pain in Wake County. And look at this, from 46 homes, I'm going to 168 homes. 168 from 46. So that's a pretty significant difference right there. That difference in acreage, the 126 difference is significant, right? For newer homes built after 2015. So yeah, still we are under 150 homes that are newer, built 2015 and up. So not a lot for Wake County, right? Imagine the competition. And these are most, again, if you look, and I'm looking right now at the list, there's a lot of new construction that still hasn't been built yet. So they're in pre-sale. So there's 0 days on the market, they're in the MLS, but they haven't been built yet. So it's not like you can go there and actually put an offer and move in. You can put an offer and be under contract, but there's not a lot going on. I'm not sure if you guys like Garner. I love Garner. I love Apex. I love Cary. I'm looking and see what I'm looking. I see Smith Farm, Smith Farm, Smith Farm, Oak Park, Oak Park, Oak Park. So how many of these are in the same neighborhood is another question, right? Because just because there are 168 doesn't mean that they're all in different locations and you have the luxury of choosing. No, you actually have 168, and if I were to start counting with you, I would probably have to divide in two, so you would get an average of like 80 homes that are in different locations, because everything else is maybe 2 or 3 or 4 in the same neighborhood. Okay, so that being said, I think I've convinced you that there's absolutely no inventory. I will let you go. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. And if you have any questions or if you'd like anything, please just put your comment there, and I will be coming live to you again with more information. Bye. Have a beautiful day.